here we are once again. Should be a cool day. Obviously, I'm going to have to be a little bit careful on my voice because I'm solo casting, but hopefully that should all be fine now. Let's have a quick look at the Group A standings as we currently stand. We've currently got Naz at the top of the group, 3-0 for them, and I just threw something around my desk like an idiot. Media just behind them, one of the first teams we're going to be seeing today in second place, just behind Naz, but with a little bit worse of a game distance. Then we have BuLL team in third position. Obviously they're 2 for 1, so our first game is going to be between the two of the top 3 teams, so it's going to be quite exciting there. White Clan in fourth, just behind BuLL, so this game could be very, very important for them, because if they do win this game, they will pull ahead of White Clan in the standings, and they've already played White Clan as well. They did lose in the ace match, but it's certainly going to be an important match to try and stay ahead, and just behind them is going to be FBW, also looking to take a top spot here in Group A. Now Valhalla, Ash and Messia will have to win their next 4 games if they stand a chance of getting out of the group, but they've certainly tried their hardest so far. They've had some tough opponents in Group A so far as well, all of them, so nothing too much to be ashamed of. And if we have a look at the maps we're going to be seeing today, set 1 will be on Colosseum, set 2 on Benzene, set 3 on Icarus, set 4 on Athena 2, and if we make it to it, will be the ace match on Katrina SE. So you'll notice the maps are slightly different from week 3 if you're just tuning in. But a quick look at our first 2 teams here. It's going to be BuLL versus Media. Now Media, of course, 3-0 in round 3 so far, so doing a lot better than they did last round. And BuLL as well, starting off strong with a 2 for 1 in their round stats. They did go 0 for 6 last round, so this is a big turnaround for them. And obviously their Terrans putting in a hell of a lot of work for them. 6 wins already, and we're going to see a good few of them today as well. As we look at the matchups, we're going to be starting here with a ZVZ between Eros Craft and Jaeyun, a TVP between Atrak and Future, a TVT between Flymeo and Nyoken, and then another TVT between Reina and Gypsy. Now, of course, if we make it to the ace match, I don't know who's played it, if there has been one played either. So we're going to discover that together as we go through the series to see exactly how it's all going to play out and everything. So hopefully you guys have had an okay Monday. Monday obviously not the best day of the week, but it should be alright regardless. So let's have a quick look at our first set of players. Okay, so for BuLL team we do have Eros Craft. Now, I thought for a second I'd misspelt his name, but I hadn't. That is how it's spelt. And he hasn't actually played in the STPL so far for BuLL team. Last round he couldn't play as early as the games were, so I did have to sit back on the sidelines a little bit, but here he is for his debut game in their second round in round 3, and his opponent going to be another debut player playing for Media. Jaeyun obviously been streaming a hell of a lot recently, putting in a lot of work to get better as well, casting with Nyoken. I obviously know a little bit more about Jaeyun than I do against Eros, so it's a little bit hard to really go into too much, but ZVZ should be a little bit of a coin toss here, as I'm not really sure how both of them are with ZVZ. I don't really watch Jaeyun stream too much, because he streams on very American time zone time, so not really too much there. But having a look at the next, or the map coming up, we're going to be going into Colosseum 2, one of my favourite maps from the round 3 map pool. Desert tile set, of course, 4 corner spawns in 8, 10, 2 and 4 o'clock. And kind of a wide open middle, but doesn't really matter too much here in a ZVZ. Likely going to see it ending quite quickly, I would say. There is a chance that it could go on a little bit longer. We'll have to see as we jump on into the game and get started here with game number 1. Eros Craft versus Media's Jaeyun. Now starting us off here in the bottom left-hand position, we do have the Orange Zerg fighting for BuLL. It's going to be Eros Craft. I'm going to call him Eros, I think, because that'll be a little bit easier to say. And his opponent spawning down here in the 4 o'clock position. We do have Media's new addition, their Zerg player in the teal. It's Jaeyun. Now obviously here in CVC, the opening builds are going to be very, very important to try and discern. We are going to have a little bit of a weird Overlord Scout from both of them. I think both of them are going to go in the wrong direction, unfortunately. But it looks like it doesn't look like we're going to have 9 pulls from either. It looks like they are just going to go into Overlords. So not really any build order disadvantages at the moment. Likely going to be overpull from both, but obviously this map is very, very easy to defend your natural. Just to quickly show that off in case you didn't see it before, you'll see that your natural is actually up a ramp in your main, so could see a couple of 12 hatches here realistically. Obviously we could see some 12 falls as well, but it looks like BuLL's Eros Craft is going to go for a 12 hatch at least. Either that or they're both drone scouting. No, so they are both going for 12 hatch, so nothing too surprising there on Colosseum 2. But this should be kind of cool as they're going for mirror builds. Now it looks like Jaeyun, his hatchery was ever so slightly slower, but I believe he squeezed out an extra drone a little bit quicker, maybe not. No, he didn't. Okay, so it looks like Eros Craft is ever so slightly ahead, is mining a little bit more efficient. Now unfortunately for both of them, neither of them are going to find each other for a very, very long time. Now this is kind of very odd Overlord scouting paths, but it looks like eventually Eros Craft is going to scout his opponent first. So obviously we could see like a Ling coming out soon at some point to go and scout, but realistically both of them should be feeling pretty content with their 12 hatches. Obviously need to be a little bit more careful as they don't know exactly what's going on the other side of the map, but I mean, it's kind of, this is why 12 hatch is kind of a big risk in CVC. Like, you don't really know exactly what's going to happen. There's no way to really be sure. It looks like Jaeyun's actually transferred 3 guys into gas a little bit later, so you can see Eros Craft has that gas lead for now. He is 1 drone down, it looks like, but he is going to add on 6 lings immediately just to make sure he's safe. Meanwhile, we're going to have 4 lings here from Jaeyun, so interestingly, the Overlords still haven't seen each other. Looks like Eros Craft is about to move in and see the creep there, so he'll be feeling pretty happy about that. Looks like we're going to have speed first for him, speed first for Jaeyun as well. Given the gas timings and everything, the lair for Eros Craft should be up a little bit quicker. Looks like it's just started there, and Jaeyun starting his lair a little bit further behind. So despite the fact they're doing mirror builds, Eros Craft I would say is a little bit further ahead. I think he may be 1 drone down, which is obviously going to be a big deal as they move further into the game. But Eros Craft has seen the hatchery now, so he knows exactly what's going on. But Jaeyun's actually hiding some of his lings at the moment. He still doesn't really know what's going on. This is the first moment he's got to see that Eros Craft also went for a 12 hatch, so I mean, he can't really guarantee that it was a 12 hatch based on the ling numbers and everything. And the fact there's no drones here maybe could tip him off that this was a little bit of a later expansion, but he didn't take any damage early on from lings, so he should be fairly confident in knowing exactly what his opponent's doing. Now, CVC is always a bit funky when it gets like this. We're going to see both players going into a lot of drones. Now, Jaeyun's actually sending his lings around, possibly looking to sneak in behind, but we're going to have a creep colony immediately coming up for Eros Craft. Jaeyun gonna skip that creep colony, which is going to give him another drone advantage for the time being. Spire coming up for Jaeyun. Spire coming up for Eros Craft at almost exactly the same time here. Their gas is actually synced up perfectly right now. Eros Craft just mining ever so slightly quicker. But Jaeyun is actually pulling ahead with a supply advantage just because he's added a lot of lings here, and he's going to go for a bust. The Sunken has finished, but this is very, very open. It looks like Eros Craft is actually going to pull back and give the Concave to Jaeyun, but no! Eros Craft getting a pretty good engagement, but the Sunken eating a lot of hits, doing a lot of damage as well. It looks like Eros Craft may have done it. Looks like he has enough lings to hold on here, and Jaeyun is going to have to fall back now with his tail between his legs. The sunken colony did go down, but that was the true turner. The true turning moment, the turning point in that fight is without that sunken, Jaeyun, I believe, would have broken Eros there. Now, we are going to have the Spires finishing up very, very shortly. Jaeyun obviously is going to be at a drone disadvantage. It looks like he wants to add on a lot more lings again. We've got a couple of drones finally mining at the natural for Eros Craft here. Now, interestingly, both of them aren't really saving up for Muteless right now. I guess they do need to make sure they get enough lings. Now, it looks like Eroscraft going to go for a counter. Jaeyun doesn't actually have that many lings back at home. He's got a few going in for a counter himself, but it looks like he's not going to be able to hold his front. Has Eroscraft done it? Has he broken the front of Jaeyun? Now, we are going to see some lings going in for the counter. How much damage can they realistically do? Because Jaeyun is going to be losing all of his units. He's losing his spawning pool. He's losing the lings popping out of his hatchery. And it looks like a good hold realistically back here for Eroscraft is going to give him the win here, but Jaeyun coming in with some extra lings to try and defend does lose them once again though, and it's going to be drones against lings. Looks like the lings of Jaeyun have been cleaned up, and it looks like the drone should be able to be taken down now, but the drone's doing a very good amount of damage to these lings. But I mean, Jaeyun is down to just 6 drones right now. He doesn't have any at his natural, and Eroscraft is sending him more lings. GG! And Jaeyun is taken down by Eroscraft here in our first game. Now it looks like Jaeyun spent a little bit leaving the game, so we did have a little bit of extra replay there, but it's all good. Hopefully you enjoyed that first game. Now that was a very quick CVZ, I thought it might be, just because Colosseum kind of lends itself to a longer game realistically in CVZ, but Jaeyun tried for the all-in, it didn't work, and the counter killed him. That was pretty much the story of that game, so there's not really too much else to say. And we're going to get back with game number 2 when I get back after this.